what time it is?
Question time.
That's right. It is question and answer time. So, who's got a question? Sean.
This is related to like a comedian's actual voice. What's your guidance on, I guess, speech pattern, volume, inflection, raising, or just the general style of what, I guess, voice best suits a comedic act?
Well, your voice about speech and inflection. So it's almost like two issues here. One is like the comic voice, but you're really talking about your actual voice. Yeah. The voice that that you talk with. And I found out that, well, of course you guys know the difference between memorizing your show in picture, sounds, and feelings and memorizing the words and putting it in internal dialogue, right? I find that when people they memorize the words and they put it in internal dialogue, remember, words are symbols and they don't activate human behaviors, which means it doesn't modulate your vocal tone, doesn't give you body language. So if you're really working from the words, I find that people get a lot more formal, sound a little bit more like an AM disc jockey. Because they're talking, but there's nothing pushing and changing it from inside. Because all they've memorized is all they've got is symbols, words to go from. And that's somewhat of yours. I think you're making a lot of work going the other direction too as well. But when you're in picture, sounds, and feelings, and you've got your language tied to a picture, and it's a vivid picture, and that picture is, part of the joke, and you see the thing, it should just automatically give you your normal voice, just like you would tell a story in real life. The other thing is it's what I call, and there's a video on this, called doing your concept of a comedian or a comic. A lot of people are like, this is what comics are supposed to do, rather than who you are is enough. Your sense of humor. So to start being more conversational, my suggestion tonight is for you to sit down and just start, I'm going to pull you real close to us, and then there can be no performing. I find that's what it is remember that people, when they're performing, when they start performing, there's a little pretense to it, rather than just being with an audience. And you can only be with an audience in picture, sounds, and feelings, and then stage time to trust yourself that who you are is enough. Also, that when you stop performing, being is not easy, because that is the ultimate relationship with the audience. There's no other concerns where you are just with these people, and then you have to trust that what you're going to talk about and stuff is going to be generated from just sitting here and being with these people. So you have to be really familiar with it, have it in picture, sounds, and feelings. And it's your attention on them, not on the show. Because remember, stand-up comedy is not a presentation, at least the way that I teach it. It's a dialogue. Okay, you're affecting them and their answers or lack of answers, then come back and affect you. And so that should, the interpretation of the show, how you interpret it for the people that are from it, should also not be set. It should be regenerated, reinvented, reinterpreted for the people that are in front of you in a lot of small ways. It's not necessarily always big ways. It's just like these rhythms and patterns and speeds. But that comes to surrendering to letting the relationship with the audience generate how you interpret the show. So now it's an individual show for each individual audience, and you're being authentic in that relationship. So then that's how you can let your show become a new show every time you perform.